I just saw the most insanely haunting, confusing, and beautiful movie, but I can only call it beautiful for its animation, because the story, although vulgar, disturbing, and captivating, it's not very pleasant. Just like life. Perfect Blue is a kind of anime that makes you feel uneasy, not because of how graphic some scenes are, but because of how realistic they can be. This is my first time making an analysis, so sorry if it feels strange in parts. Also, this is a video to practice my English pronunciation, so I add subtitles in case you don't start something. So, this is my interpretation of Perfect Blue. How much are you willing to lose to achieve someone else's dreams? Will you lose your identity? For me, this story is about how the entertainment industry, created to satisfy consumers, can reshape your identity and turn you into a brand. Mima decides to leave her career as an idol to become an actress. By doing that, she is not only disappointing some of her fans, but also herself. Deep down, she knows she wants to remain an idol. But the industry works differently. The industry and Mima are not the same person, they have different personalities. However, as the movie goes on, it starts to feel like Mima is becoming more of the industry than herself. Even though she doesn't have the reputation of being a bad actress, people around her don't seem to see her as one. The lack of approval in her new career pushes her to make drastic decisions so people will see her as a real actress, even though she's just playing the industry's game to please a specific audience. The entertainment industry is one of the most dehumanizing, which is ironic because humans are the ones who make it work. At the end of the movie, when Mima visits Rumi, some nurses say it's impossible that she's the real Mima, that she must just look like her, as if it were impossible for Mima to exist in public. In this industry, people can point at celebrities as if they were objects. Mima is never completely free to decide who she wants to perform for, herself, women, children, or men. In the end, she does what generates the most money. And the most curious part is that in one of the hardest scenes to watch, we see that even the actor doesn't want to do it. That made me think, who are they really satisfying? Are those disturbing scenes we see in cinema created to add deep to the story, or do they have another hidden purpose? One only directors, writers, and producers know. This movie might feel confusing. Director Satoshi Kon made it so we will feel the same as Mima. But I also think it's because this could happen to anyone. We are all humans and our identities are exposed to being misinterpreted and corrupted. Throughout Mima's performances, the film tries to explain the story, especially the scene where she repeats her single line over and over. Who are you? She repeats that phrase again and again, not because it's hard to memorize, but because it's hard to answer. Mima doesn't really know who she is. She tries to convince herself she's an actress. But in her hallucinations, she's still an idol. Every time she does something to be seen as an actress, Idol Mima appears to remind her that this isn't her true identity, that it's not what she really wants. Nostalgia and Rumi reflect how some people see idols or celebrities as brands, forgetting they are humans too. As if just because someone makes them feel something, they belong to them, or their job is to keep making them happy with songs and a personality fabricated by the industry. When they stop, it feels like a betrayal instead of a personal decision. This lack of empathy between celebrities and fans isn't only in Perfect Blue, it happens today too. Many feel entitled to comment on others' bodies and choices, treating them like objects. Why didn't Mima just leave? Even her mother said being an idol was her dream, but even the brightest dream can be overshadowed by other desires. Mima felt gratitude toward her manager for taking her so far. She couldn't back out without seeming ungrateful. At some point, she thought quitting would waste all her hard work. And since she repeatedly told the media and herself that she no longer wanted to be an idol, Going back to singing will destroy her credibility. The sexualization of Mima. She accepts filming a violent scene so she will be taken as a professional actress. This is also a way to leave behind her good girl image for Cham. But the thing is that we never really know what Mima's true identity was. We assume it was when she was an idol, but maybe that identity was also created by the industry, with only fragments of the real Mima hiding inside. The way they erase her own image through sexualization, especially the photos taken by the photographer. That's when we see her completely saying goodbye to her old self. Later, we realize she didn't want to do it, not only because she was breaking her own image, but because the industry's pressure was suffocating her. The bathtub scene feels like a representation of her voice being drowned. No matter if she speaks or not, people won't listen. My interpretation of the ending, when we see Rumi in the hospital and Mima looking at herself in the mirror saying, I am real, I think that's only the surface of what she feels. Even though Rumi tried to kill her, she wasn't the one appearing in Mima's hallucinations. Idol Mima was the one tormenting her. Her past and lost identity made her doubt her actions. Rumi and Memania were just related events chasing the same thing as Idol Mima. But Idol Mima was still part of Mima herself. In the end, Mima doesn't stay with just one identity. She is the sum of many identities in one person. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, theories, or opinions, leave them in the comments. See you in the next video. Bye!